This time on Irate Garage, we're going to do the front and rear brakes on this 1981 Cadillac. Some things were easier than expected, some things were harder than expected, but one thing's for sure, the job gets done. Let's get into it. So today I'm doing brake stuff. It's good and exciting. I've already replaced all the lines and hoses in a previous video. Got all new brakes. Hopefully they're the right size. Oh, that sounds great. Oh, that just stripped that shit right out. Bummer is these thread in to the bracket there. Oh, that fits a little better. And there was a little bit of crap in that. Maybe we need to heat that up, huh? Melting that cap for the bleeder screw here. Is coil flammable? There we go. Something tells me I need some safety glasses. You can't hear boobies. All right. There we go. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. Damn. That's just spinning. Yep, that's stripped out. Try these guys. I don't know if these will work. It might. God damn, look at that. A bunch of different companies make them. These are by Irwin. They got big ones and little ones. These things have gotten me out of so many binds over the years. Look at that. Awesome. Well, now that that worked, I just want the tool back, man. I might need that in a little bit. There it goes. Look at that. Not even really chewed up even. Cool. Those things are lifesavers. Oh yeah. There we go. Bearings actually feel okay. A lot of times you can use a screwdriver on that. I found this little pry bar here with a bevel on that actually works pretty good. You just set it in there like that, spin it like that, spin it. Once you get it started, that's all you gotta do. That grease looks pretty new. Oh, come on, you bitch. There we go. There we go. Well, whoever did this did a piss poor job of getting the old grease out. Oh, wow, that's lovely. We'll inspect that in a minute. But, oh, that one's dead. It's a little discolored, but not too bad. I think I'm gonna call that good enough and run it. Okay, so I got the passenger side taken care of. Went way easier than the driver's side, so that's good. So now I have the old rotor sitting on top of the new rotor just to make sure that the sizes are the same. And it looks like they are. Kind of just look across them. They look identical. There's commercial chassis and then standard regular chassis. Some websites are better than others. There's a dog here. Some websites are better than others about helping delineate the two. Basically, from what I understand, the commercial chassis have a 12-inch drum in the back with a 2.5-inch wide shoe, and the standard chassis has 11-inch drums with a 2-inch wide shoe. But you'll see it for limos or for livery or for commercial. The terminology will get tossed around, oftentimes on the same site. Rock Auto's site was frustrating as hell to try to look this stuff up on. So I ended up ordering it through O'Reilly's. The new rotors come with races already installed, so that's kind of nice. But I still want to double check and make sure that these bearings fit in there good. That one does. Make sure they spin in there nicely. And it does. It's easier to check now than sit there when everything's put together and covered in grease, trying to figure out why the hell something doesn't work. Well, that cage is a little out of round on a brand new bearing, but it doesn't drag, so I'm going to call it fine. But yeah, you just want to make sure they sit in there good. Compare it to the races they come with, and just make sure that feels nice. And it does in this case, which is good. Otherwise, I would be furious. Same with the seals. Good time to make sure that the seals are appropriate. Make sure that will fit, and it will. Perfect. So the new parts look good, but I still want to inspect the old stuff. I still want to inspect the old stuff just to make sure that, just to see if there was any indication that there was a problem, other than look how rusty and nasty that is. That is gross. Look at that bearing. Oh, the bearing came through the seal. Huh. Sometimes violence is the answer. So if you're going to put new grease in your bearings, that's awesome. But you got to get the old grease out first. That's old grease and new grease just hanging out together. There's not much, it's kind of a little telling too that there's not much grease in the bearings, but there's a whole lot of grease in the hub here. Gotta be careful, there can be something sharp in there, you don't know. And I don't know what to make of the white grease, the tan grease. It's probably okay, but I think that was just an old farmer doing old farmer things. They didn't want to try to pull the seal and replace it, so they just repacked the outer bearing, threw grease at the inner bearing, and called it good. I mean, I'm all for being cheap, but there are limits. When I come back, it'll be tomorrow. And I invite you, if you haven't yet already, please like and subscribe. It is the best way you can support a small channel like mine. Okay, see you tomorrow. Or the next day, never know. And we're back. So I'm just curious what these bearings look like. They've been soaking overnight. I really don't have any desire to reuse them in the car. Like I said, I already bought new bearings. The bearing is junk. The bearing's had a hard life. Again, just curious. Should spin a lot better than that. I think I'm just going to chuck these in the bucket. Sometimes I'll say something like, I hate being right all the time, but that's not true. I love being right all the time. My big goal today is to get the bearings packed and possibly even get the rotors and everything on the car. That would be my ideal solution, my ideal level of accomplishment for the day. Spring is refusing to be permanent here in Minnesota. So we are going to go ahead and pack some bearings and get this back together. So this outer bearing fits the driver's side better than the other one did. So I'll set it up and make sure that one goes on the driver's side. The other one went on the passenger side just fine. Packing bearings may not be the most overly complicated thing to do, but there is a right and a wrong way. I will endeavor to show you at least what I consider to be the right way. It's a good idea, even with new bearings, to make sure that they are good. It's just kind of one of those things. Check the cage, make sure it's sitting right, make sure they spin freely. New tub grease. There's something satisfying about opening a new tub of grease. Okay, now this might be a little tricky to show you. Well, all you're going to do is put some grease in your hand and take the bearing, just walk it. Now, it was not that long ago I watched a guy pack bearings, and he was doing it like that. That's a good way to have a raw hand and, in my opinion, not the greatest pack job. So you don't need a whole lot of grease, just a little bit. And then if it's been a while or you've never done it before, to get back in the rhythm, I find the bigger bearings easier to get a feel for whether or not you're getting the grease in them. And I just walk them back and forth like that. That's all there is to it. A little bit of grease gets in the middle, put it back. And what you're looking for is that right there, where the grease is starting to pop through in between the bearings. That is happiness. That's what you're looking for. Okay, see that? See how the grease is starting to pop through the bearing? If you are reusing bearings, you want to see the old grease that's still in there, because even after you clean the bearings, there'll still be grease in there. You want to make sure that you push that old grease out. Because not only is it old grease, but it'll have solvent in that too, and you don't want any solvents in your bearings. And you don't want to have too much grease in your hand, because it'll make a mess, and that'll make it a little more tricky and difficult to see if you are indeed getting the grease where it needs to be. It's not enough that the bearing be covered in grease. You want to make sure there is grease packed into the bearings. Now, they make tools for this. I've never used them. I imagine they work really good. Guys seem to like them, but I'm just kind of old school. And I like actually seeing the grease go in. That one is done. These little guys can be super tricky. So the hard part is because they're so small, the grease kind of just covers the whole bearing. At least that's my issue with it. Again, like I said, not the most complicated thing in the world, but very easy to kind of screw up. So you want to make sure you clean any oil and grease off of this before you put the brakes themselves on the shoes or the pads. Put a little grease in here. Then plop your inner bearing in. This is a seal and bearing driver tool. They're pretty inexpensive. You don't need one necessarily. They're cheap enough that I think it's worth the investment. That's just me. You want to make sure that is lined up well. If you find that it's kind of rocks or something, just spin it. You want that to feel nice and stable. Center, one smack, check it, You can kind of like offset your hits to make sure that's straight. There you go. That's all there is to it. Some guys like to put a little grease around the seal. That's me. I'm some guys. And we'll just do that again for the next one. Hear that sound? See how hear how it changed? It's a good way to know that you are in all the way. I meant to clean this stuff before. Forgot. Probably a good idea just to replace these cotter pins. I seldom actually do, but you know, again, it's one of those things. You should do it. Mortsky from Mortsky Repairs was in my neighborhood yesterday. I thought I saw his truck. Not too many white short bed Dodges pulling 3-axle Lamar trailers in this area. He had a Corvette and a frame, I assume, to another Corvette on the trailer. It's kind of cool. Like a YouTube celebrity in my own neighborhoods. Would have stopped, but I didn't want to interrupt a dude on his lunch, having lunch, you know. Something about that doesn't seem right. Now pay attention, because I'm only going to show you once. You want to feel, make sure that isn't binding as it goes on. Slip that guy in. There we go. There's like a little key here and a little doodad on that. A little tang. Slip it on in like so. Snug it up by hand. Go ahead and give it a spin. I know a lot of people will just basically bottom that out. Spin that a few times. There we go. I pretty much just do it until that doesn't tighten anymore. Now sometimes when you do this, it won't spin at all. So then I loosen it just to the point where I can spin it and repeat. So we're gonna spin it a little. Snug that up. Should probably have a cleaner wrench. Now I'm gonna back it off 90 degrees. Like so. And check. You shouldn't really be able to feel anything. You definitely don't want to hear it. Now I'm not going to get too caught up in it. Typically what I like to do is put the tire on and check, but for the most part, that's good enough. If you have the tire on it and you're checking preload, in my opinion, if you can feel it move a little, you're okay. If you can hear it, you're not. That's just kind of a quick and fast thing for me. Let's see if we can demonstrate that, make that. Hear that? That's bad. That's bad. Once I put everything together and put the tire on it and drive it, I will recheck this stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and bend that over. There we go. A little bit of grease in the cap, just for good luck. Do I think it's necessary? No, but you never know. If this all got hot, you might want to have that. And just tap, tap, tap till it's home. Watch these caps. I have noticed that these aftermarket rotors, a lot of times, those caps fit loose. Again, if I can feel it a little bit, I think it's okay. If you hear it clunk, that's too loose. Quiet, perfect. Now I will do the other side, but you're not going to watch that. Now the passenger side is done. Well, there we go. Bearings packed and rotors on the car. Now I just got to clean up tools and grill burgers for dinner. One thing to note real quick is that I noticed on the passenger side, I didn't see it on the driver's side, but I could have just missed it. But a lot of times there'll be a second or a third hole to try the cotter key out or try the cotter pin out on. So if you're not happy with it, you can try a different hole. For the most part, I'm pretty happy with how it feels. Again, drive it around, make sure it feels good. Don't let your ego get in the way of making sure the job is done right. Realistically though, bearings are pretty forgiving. I mean, hell, I've had trailers that had wildly loose bearings, like the top of the tire moved in and out 1/4 of an inch. And the bearings seemed to be just fine. And they were holding bobcats and hay and all sorts of shit. So I'll admit, that was more than my 15 minutes to get your car done type of thing. But once I open this tub of grease, I'm not going in the house until I'm done with that tub of grease, okay? So, yes, it took a little longer than the normal, what I would typically do, but sometimes it's what it takes. And I made it clear to my wife and everybody involved that it was going to be longer. So, but that's part of the solution too, is to communicate with your family unit what is actually going to happen. My wife was not surprised at all when I told her I was doing bearings today. As long as I'm back to the house and time to make dinner, then things will be just fine. See you tomorrow or maybe even the next day. Possibly both. Hell, I might just have to take tomorrow to clean. This grease gets everywhere. Okay, I only got a few minutes today. I've been playing fast and loose with the whole 15-minute task thing lately. But I want to get these calipers loaded up and ready to go. No, those go on the outside. Duh. It's also interesting how these look different. This one has like a weird little extra tang to it. Hey, it works better if you put them in right. Shit, I'm dumb. There we go. Go in your home. There we go. This is driver's side. All right, let's go slap that driver's side on. I'd really like to get these together today. Torque to spec. Whoops. Gotta get this part done quick today. Remember, if you're ever confused about which way the caliper goes, bleeder screw goes up. Today we're starting with the back brakes. I gotta tell you, Minnesota is being very unwilling to let go of winter. If you don't know how the brakes go, by all means, take a picture. And then, of course, just do one side at a time. That way you can go to the other side and check and make sure that you have done it right. Now, taking a look here, I can tell that whoever did this the last time did not do it right. See, this this shoe is bigger than this shoe. The big shoe goes in the back. So whoever did this did it backwards, which might explain why The front shoe has plenty of material and the rear shoe has very little. I must admit, I have mixed results with using the quote-unquote right tools. Sometimes I swear it's just as easy to use a screwdriver and a pair of vice grips. You know what I mean? So I'll undo those. I think I can get away with undoing these guys. Oh good, those are full on rotted. That thing sucks. Probably be great if everything was new. But that's all rusted up. There it goes. Boy, it really feels like something's jammed up because that still doesn't move. There it goes. Huh. Didn't want to let go. I wonder if it was stuck. Yeah, look how rusty all that is. Oofda. That was really stuck on there. I never put the line on it from when I did the lines. There we go. Delco Moraine, USA. Yeah, I think it's safe to say those are probably original. Sorry guys, I am really tired. Oh, I just don't have the energy today. But I want to get this stuff done. I mean, I know we've all been there where you just don't feel like it. Needless to say, you don't want to breathe that in. I mean, I know we've all been there, right? You just don't feel it. Don't have the energy for it. That's kind of how I feel today. I don't know. Just not feeling it. But sometimes that's when you got to push through the most. That's the difference, right? That's what separates some from others. And I should probably paint that backing plate if I cared, but I don't. That and it's going to be low 40s to mid 30s for the next, I don't know, maybe week. And I don't want to wait for everything to dry up and warm up and all that stuff. I want to keep the progress going here before I get too busy at work to be able to even manage a little bit of time a day. This car sat a lot, that's why it's so rusty. It was parked inside, but it was a very humid garage. So, all right, I think I'll do might do the line, hook the line up later, clean that up a little bit. I think it's perfectly usable. It is not frozen up. It's just got a little rust. Come on. Come off of there. Yeah. All right, we're all looking okay. That might look horrifying to you, but trust me, that'll be just fine. That moves on there good. Just gonna put a little bit of oil on the threads. There we go. Oh yeah, get it on the shoe. That's always good for it. Okay guys, I think I'm just gonna call it for a day. I don't know what my problem is. It's just, whew. It's like I'm getting tired and my brain's turning into mush. And what I can usually do in my sleep, everything's just fighting me. So I think I'm gonna call it. I'll come back to it tomorrow or next day, I don't know. So But this has already taken far too long to not get something done. But I was out here and I did work on it, and that's the important thing. So, all right, I'm done for the day. It's also kind of cold and crappy, and it was snowing a minute ago. So all those things just kind of suck the joy right out of life. So I don't know, not a good day for it. So come back tomorrow. See you tomorrow. And we're back. It's been a couple of days. I don't know what the hell happened, but I just absolutely fell apart. I went back in the house, and even my wife was like, wow, you don't look good. And yeah, I must have been sick or something. Well, I've been fighting some weird kind of a cold, so not surprising. So we're back, and I'm not going in the house until either this is done or I'm so royally pissed off I can't see straight. So yeah, I have like little tricks to do this stuff, and I don't know why I couldn't remember anything. I haven't actually looked at this since the other day. There we go. Yeah, that's better. So we need to get you in place. I think those are all the same. Of course, it sounds like the world is falling down around me because, well, it kind of is. Winter refuses to give up and go away. And so there's snow falling off the roof. Oh, God. Me. I swear the right tool is the most useless thing I've ever had in my life. I swear I've had better luck just using vice grips. What a bunch of shit. Nothing Key moment, white dies, why not? There we go. And then that fucking piece of shit falls off again. There we go. Now it's in there to stay. Just gotta swear at it just right. Why can't I do this? There we go. Oh, look how much tension is on that. Well, it ought to return just fine then. I'm not as cool as some YouTubers who can just like blink and the brakes go together. I'm just jealous. There we go. There we go. Time for the piece de cereals, piece de, you know what I'm saying. I was gonna try to say something fancy. Oh, that don't fit. Gotta quit. All right, let's see. There we go. That feels a little tight. Just want that to drag ever so slightly. One thing to note when you're doing that kind of a thing, that adjuster, you want to hear it drag ever so slightly, but you don't want to have to like fight it. Again, much like the preload on the front, sometimes it feels like that's only something I can get right if I have the tire on it. So that's this side, and I'm going to do the other side. Well, there we go, guys. The brakes are done. This toolkit is about useless. I forget every time, then I go to use the proper tools, and it's a damn battle. The only thing in here that's actually worth a toss is the that retainer clip spring thing, that little clip, that little circular thing with the slot that goes on the nail that holds it in. That's the only one that's actually worth anything. Other than that, a pair of vice grips and a screwdriver worked way better. The only thing left to do now is bleed the brakes, but that is not happening in this video. It's going to happen in this video. Unless it's not done yet, then it'll be a different one. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. and I'll catch you in the next one.